Fun fact, of the 3 remakes opening this weekend, this is the only one that maintains its original R rating. I did not know this movie was a remake. Needless to say, I find this fact a little ironic. Cue title scene.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention?
About Last Night stars Kevin Hart, here to make up for the indisputable, disturbing piece of trash that was Ride Along. Also starring is Michael Ealy from Fox hit show Almost Human, a show I like very much. And do these two make this movie something I like very much? Pretty much. Yep, I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna rip all over this movie. It looked so stupid in the commercials and the trailers. And as you can clearly tell, I'm still mad at Kevin Hart for Ride Along. But you know what? I really like this movie. Don't get me wrong, it's no perfect like showing of human integrity and shit. But for what it is and considering what it's going up against this weekend, I think it's really fun. Basically, the film, it's a pretty simple premise. You've got Michael Ealy, he has a one-night stand, and, you know, he wants to start a relationship with this woman. You've got Kevin Hart, and he's just, you know, running around with any woman he can get. And what's great about it that Ride Along couldn't do was that Kevin Hart actually gets to be Kevin Hart. I have a feeling if he keeps acting, if he keeps playing these same kinds of characters over and over again, it's going to get annoying after a while. But for right now, I really like it. I thought he was really good in this movie because they let him really do his comedy the way his comedy is meant to be done. And that means sometimes getting to curse, and that means sometimes being off the ball ridiculous. In Ride Along, it all felt restrained. Even though he got to be ridiculous, he never really got to really put his own pizzazz into anything. And here, he really did it, and he really brought something to this movie. Now, do I believe he can get half the women he get in this movie? No. And I've heard him in interviews, he's fully aware of that, and he makes fun of that. It just lets this film feel all the more into it and let me get into it. Michael Ealy, I admit him and his girlfriend in the movie, they don't have very good chemistry together. Not like I felt with Colin Farrell and what's-her-name in Winter's Tale, but I do think that he does bring something to this role. I wish it had been a bit more, but for what it is, it's fine. The other girl who spends most of her time with Kevin Hart, who's Michael Ealy's girlfriend's sister, whatever, also I thought could have been a little better. But let's face it, most of the comedy in this movie will come from Kevin Hart, and it works great, and it works fine. And perfectly honest, it's kind of an interesting little take on it. Usually in these movies, the one who's running around with every woman is usually the one who like has a miserable life, and the one who's finding the right woman tends to be okay. But to be perfectly honest, you kind of feel the opposite. You know, it feels like Kevin Hart's the one with that happy, great life, and he's not the total over-the-top womanizer they make like Neil Patrick Harris in How I Met Your Mother. And Michael Ealy's the one who's got a lot of the problems, and it feels like he's just miserable all the time. Kind of makes you wonder which side of things is better for you to fall on. And any rom-com that can at least have me thinking something like that is a good one in my book. Unfortunately, this film has another big problem. Similar to my Attack on Titan issue, its pacing is really off. Because the thing is, the film takes place over the course of about a year. And the problem with that is, yeah, it does make it seem a bit more realistic. That's not typical rom-com stats where everything happens over the course of a few weeks. But that being said, there's not a lot of good segues into it. Like, they'll be arguing, and then they'll be happy and arguing again, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it makes sense because time's passed. But by the time I realized this, the film felt half over. And then when the film actually ends, like, it's really abrupt, and it's sort of like, it wouldn't be so abrupt if I wasn't spending the whole time just trying to catch up and understand where we were in the relationship. But I can't ignore the fact that this movie was fun. I thought it was hilarious. I don't care about the original film because I enjoyed this movie just fine. Yeah, it's got some problems, but your choice is either this or flying horses. So, in the end of the day, I've got to say About Last Night is a solid 8 out of 10 on the rom-com scale. Yup, thought I was going to hate this movie. Turns out I liked the shit out of it. And what comedians do you like the shit out of? Since we brought up Kevin Hart now twice this year, how's about you bring up your own comedians you like? Tell me your favorite comedians in the comments section below. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe. because thank God Valentine's Day is over. Now let's get on to the real movies we all want to see. Captain America killing shit.